You know, it's really hard to determine. It's really hard to judge someone's morality. I mean, when would you even have really situations where you could judge it? You'd have to pay a lot of attention. You'd have to consider a lot of factors into their decisions, and it'd be very difficult to, at any point, conclusively judge someone's morality. In any case, the brain isn't interested in conclusive analysis. The brain is interested in conclusions. And so we use the shortcut that I've hated since I was a kid, which is that that if someone is quiet, that basically quiet, shy, nice, sweet, kind, are basically all the same thing. Polite, all the same thing, which I have never understood. Some of those, I am the opposite of those things. But my morality, I'm not sure there's much that you could say about it. And if there is, I'll fix it. Tell me. Politeness, no. Sometimes I'm polite when I think that it's moral. Um, anyway, so here's another video. Whatever. Because then you get to know the real them. And I never thought I'd fall for a quiet, nice person. But I have had two interactions, quiet women, who everybody would describe, I mean, two, like, year-long interactions with these two quiet women that everyone would describe as so sweet, adorable, blah, blah. First of all, they end up getting reduced. Every time they're at a party, people act like they don't know what to do. And maybe sort of they're uncomfortable, but like they don't need you to, hey, you're safe here. It's like, yeah, okay. I don't know. Anyway, they're also just reduced in, oh, they're the quiet person. Oh, don't put pressure on them. Oh, we need to protect them. And I've always been very skeptical of this association between quiet people and nice people. One reason is that the quietest girl in my class in 8th grade, well, no, I was already very bothered that everybody was always talking about how nice she was. And I was like, but okay, she could be nice, but like, what is the evidence? She doesn't open her fucking mouth. She just sits there. She's beautiful. Are you confusing that maybe? And she and a friend of hers played a prank on me, who's actually that girl, still kind of my friend. But they played a prank on me, and then one time I was signing one of their yearbooks, and I saw that the sweet Addie had written, oh my gosh, remember that time we played that prank on Eris? He was so fucking stupid, I hate him so much, something like that. And the other girl had a crush on me. Well, I'll call her and ask her after this if she did. I'm almost certain she did. And we dated after middle school. Anyway, but before I even saw how she really, I won't say that that's how she really is. I won't say I know Addie at all. But there was not evidence that she is nice, sweet. Their only evidence is she is quiet, has a nice smile, and is very attractive. It's probably one of the biases or one of the voices. It probably would rank in, not in the top 3, probably be number 4 or 5 of the ones that I hate the most, of this assumption, this association, this just, we see a nice person and the brain goes, oh, I mean, we see a quiet, literally, I'm imagining a quiet person. I said, we see a nice person. We see a quiet person, and that's it. They're just quiet. They're not all so nice. And you know what quiet people do is they'll agree with a lot of things. And that's another reason that you'll think that they're nice. Because they go along with it. They don't say, oh no, that's wrong, or oh no, I don't want that. But they're over there Okay, not all quiet people, but I'm saying there are some quiet people who are going to be over there. Oh, it isn't the way I want, but gosh, I don't know how to say anything about it, so I'm just going to be quiet. Everybody's going to think I'm nice. Then at some moment, maybe with the clothes close to me, I'm going to explode and tell them, oh, you're an asshole for doing that, blah, blah. Even though I didn't say anything earlier. Oh, the worst is those quiet people are going to agree to do things and then complain about it afterwards. Oh my god, he's making me do this. She's making me do this. Oh, my coworker's making me do this. My friend's making me do this. Well, hold on. Did your friend ask you? Yeah. And you said what? What do you want me to say? I said yes, but I didn't think it was going to be all the time. Right, but then, did they ask other times? Or like, did they check in on you? I mean, I wanted to be polite. I want to be nice. You're not nice. You're quiet. You're weak. You don't even know what it means to be good. All you do is keep your mouth shut and agree with the people around you. Until you can't anymore. Until quiet doesn't work. And then you show your real colors. Quiet people are tough. I don't trust them. I don't trust them anymore. I mean, I never trusted them. But now, definitively, I'm done with it. I'm done with quiet people. No more, there's no more errors. I'm going to encourage a quiet person out of their shell, and I'm going to trust that what they say is in there is in there. No, no more of that. No more of that. Anyway, quiet people, not the same thing as good people. But they can be they can stay victims, even if they're the ones who cheated, even if they're the ones who don't communicate. But it's just, oh, it's poor. Whatever. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, got started. Anyway, I didn't mean to hate on quiet people. That was not the intention. It was supposed to be just a gentle, hey guys, don't forget, you have a bias that thinks that anyone who's quiet is nice. And anyone who isn't, it's going to be harder for your brain to categorize them as kind or good. The worst part for quiet people about them is that they spend all of their youth being seen as harmless and nice. Never really accused of anything except maybe arrogance, depending on how they carry themselves. But anyone who's like plain or humbly dressed, who isn't like particularly stunning and is quiet, probably won't be accused of much. Unless they're ugly. If they're ugly, then yes, they will be accused of things. Which means that when they go into the real world, when they go into like proper adulthood, 30s, 40s, 50s, they cannot handle it when, you know, you've been quiet your whole life, you're 35, you have a life partner, and your life partner's like, hey, I feel like your morality is questionable in this area. Quiet people have never heard that before. What? No, I'm a mouse. No. I've never been accused of anything. Excuse me? You're an asshole for saying that. And then the other thing is, why are they quiet in the first place? Well, because they're insecure, probably. Okay? There are quiet people who are not insecure. But I think most quiet people are insecure. And I don't mean quiet in just certain contexts, but I mean someone who is consistently unable to speak, respond to a question, probably have a lot of insecurities. So if they have a lot of insecurities, well, of course, the moment that you mention, hey, that doesn't seem right, what you're doing there, obviously that's going to cause a reaction. Actually, I should have really recorded from like this angle so you can see how beautiful I am. But anyway. Okay, obviously talking a lot can also be a symptom of insecurity. I'm certainly insecure, but I don't think that I have lots of insecurities. All humans have insecurities. Just want to say it's not, oh, quiet people are insecure, and I don't think that, and that is what it sounded like. I'm sorry. I'll say that anyone who is invulnerable is insecure. So, if you talk a lot, defending yourself, talking about irrelevant accomplishments, blah, blah, bringing the attention away from yourself, and you're probably not doing it intentionally, but it's probably a symptom of insecurity. If when people talk to you, you're like, I don't know, probably a symptom of insecurity. That's what I'm saying. So whether you're quiet or loud, those who are happy to be vulnerable, who are happy to share themselves, to be seen, who are, whether they want to be seen or whether they're okay being, oh, if you need to be seen, you're also insecure. I need the validation of others, yes. But if you're okay being seen, if you have a tendency to be vulnerable and you don't think, and you've looked at your experience and it doesn't seem to depend on the reaction of others, I have no idea whether that's the case for me. Okay, now we're talking about someone who's got some security, who knows themselves a bit, who's okay with whatever they are. All right, so at the end of the day, here's what we're saying. If you're someone who has a default nature of being pretty trusting, which is what I think would be required if, you tend to say what you think and what you feel and what you want. First of all, don't let people tell you that you're wrong for that. There's some people who are too focused on what they want and are wrong for that. But if you talk to people sort of like you talk to your friends and family, if you have a tendency to talk to everybody but the same way, to say things and it's not very slowly get closer with the person or more trusting or more comfortable. But if you have a tendency to trust someone immediately, tell them whatever, then my advice to you is don't trust people who are not like that. Yeah. See, we evolved not really to interact with strangers a whole lot. Or if they were strangers, they were still part of our community. Well, I don't know why that's true, but so my brain still works as though we all are part of the same community. Very difficult for me to distrust someone, to imagine that they could have lied to me, to etc. Naturally. Of course, I've had some bad experiences that have helped me out. And I guess there's some genetic lineage, that produced humans that much more easily adapt, or maybe it's their life experiences, I don't know. But there are humans in 2023 for whom it seems very, very easy. The distinction, there are a whole bunch of like levels of distinction. There's like, my child would be here, and my husband, and then there would be like and also somewhere there is my parents. They've all made it into that inner circle, I guess. Hopefully some of my siblings have made it in there. And then I've got siblings and maybe some cousins, and I see them a lot, but I don't know. And then I've got the people that I've known for 10 years. Then I've got the people I've known for 5 years. And I got the people I've known for for 1 to 3 months. And then, and for me, it's basically, I probably have 2 or 3 levels tops. I don't know how that happened, but it doesn't really matter for this conversation how they developed that ability. But know that some people have that ability, which means I think that in the brain, there is a pair of voices. How much you trust someone and how much obligation you feel towards that person. Obligation to sacrifice, to give, to how much concern you feel for that person. And I think it's rare, and maybe this is based on nothing, but I would guess that it's rare that someone is very, very trusting but feels no obligation towards others. Or that someone is not at all trusting but feels an immense obligation, natural obligation towards others. Every moment of need, there's always there. I just can't imagine that. Of course, that makes sense why we would evolve for those two things to develop at the same rate. Because if you're trusting people, then they are part of your community, and you need to feel an obligation for them so that they can trust you. You need to feel an obligation toward them so they can trust you. I don't understand how the genetic profile would survive who trusted a lot but didn't feel an obligation towards others, or the other way around. If we assume that that's true, then that means that that person who isn't opening up to you, so who doesn't have that trust voice that's unlocking those different expressions, sharing, whatever, I would assume that they probably, whatever level of trust they demonstrate with how much they share, whatever level of trust they have, they probably are at about the same level for obligation. And if you're someone who is very trusting, you probably feel an immense obligation towards others. You probably love giving, and also love asking. You love, it's fucking community vibes. So I think that's the point. I mean, it wasn't the point at the beginning. I just wanted to complain about morality and kindness just because these two guys really liked me, and I thought, wish more people responded to me that way. And I thought it reminds me of the way people respond to either quiet people or maybe funny, harmless people, stuff like that. And that's what got me thinking about all that. Anyway, but here's the useful thing that we're going to take away from this. Trust and obligation go hand in hand. No matter how much time you spend with someone, no matter how close you are to them, if they are not of our species, that trusting, open, feeling an obligation towards other species, I mean, easily and with a lot of people, right? Because those non-trusting, they still feel an obligation to like their family and stuff. But here's what I'm saying: you're gonna have spent, for you at the end of 2 months, you're thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, I trust this person. I'm telling them everything. I've got this person in mind. I feel this obligation towards this person, and you're gonna assume that's the same for them. And because there will be love and stuff, and so there will be attention, and so you'll assume, oh, there's obligation as well. And you'll probably ignore the few times where you're like, huh? I would not have even thought to react that way if the roles were reversed. That's normal to you? Like, oh, wow, okay. You probably explain it away because there's love and you think there's connection and stuff. But know that because you haven't been able to unlock that sense of obligation, because you didn't unlock the trust, which I don't think was your fault. Well, I don't really know in your case, but in general, there's just people that it takes longer to unlock that trust, which means that it takes longer to unlock that obligation, which means that you can spend 2 months, you spend a year with the person. You think that there's the same level of trust and obligation between you two, but that person has a brain that takes longer And you could have known that because they were quiet and they were, even with you, they were having trouble expressing themselves. But they promise you, oh no, it's coming, I trust you, oh my gosh, amazing. And then if ever they decide that something is in their interest that either is against your interests, or they might just not even take your interest in consideration because you hadn't gotten to that level of trust / obligation. So here's the point. I think that you can judge how much moral and emotional obligation someone feels towards you based on how much they express to you about themselves and how okay they are being seen by you, how much they trust you. And that'll be an indication for you, I think, of how much they feel they owe you. No matter what they say, if the voice, that trust voice, hasn't been fully unlocked, then that means the obligation voice hasn't been fully unlocked. And if you keep going blind, you're going to get screwed. But, I mean, that's okay. That's life. But